What's good, scholars? It's your girl Gabby here, and I am back with a brand new video. Before we get started, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. I am on a quest to reach 1,000 followers before the end of the year, so help me out with that. Make sure that you become a part of the graduating class. Next thing I need you to do is like this video and also share it with someone that you know needs this. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right in. I'm pretty sure the title may have startled some of you all and brought you here to hear whatever it is that I have to say. So this video is going to be really informal. I'm gonna try and talk to you guys a little bit, not give so much tips, but just talk about life experience and what I've learned, and kind of just like straight up facts that you need to know when dealing with this particular subject. So if you're interested, go ahead and keep watching. So as you can tell from the title, we are going to be talking about parents and the parent relationship. Teenagers and parents usually have a whole lot of push and pull depending on what type of relationship you have with your parents. And a majority of those relationships during a student's teenage years really become strained, right? You know, students start trying to do their own thing. Parents, especially if you're maybe the oldest child in the family, it's a shock for them, and they're kind of working through actually letting you go and making your own decisions. And in a lot of cases, control starts becoming a huge issue, and it causes a lot of friction, especially when you start talking about college and what you're going to major in and how far away from home you're going to go. And all of these different factors really can change the dynamic of relationships between parent and student. And I decided to go ahead and just do this video because every year, it seems like since I've been working in my current position, I have a student who has an issue with their parents or feels like their parents are controlling them. They want nothing to do with them. They want to do everything independently. And you have parents who are just kind of like, I don't really know what you want me to do. I'm trying to steer you the right way. Or you even have parents who really are controlling and just want their children to do whatever it is they want them to do, not realizing that their child at some point in their lives will have their own agency. And if they do not start making just small decisions before the age 18, it becomes really hard for them to make those decisions later on, right? So like I said, I meet with so many students who just kind of want that independence. They want that freedom. And let me just first say that is perfectly okay. That is normal, right? Especially when you're 17, 18 years old, you're getting ready to transition into the next level of your education, and your parents more than likely will not be there. That's okay for you to want independence. It's okay for you to want a job. It's okay for you to want to go to a school that's, 1,000 miles away from home. That's normal, right? But you have to keep a level of respect, and you have to keep a level of understanding. And I've learned this even in my adulthood and being, quite far removed from my teenage years. There's no handbook on parenting, right? So a lot of parents are either going off of what they saw their parents do, or, they are really playing things by ear. So it's okay to give your parents a little bit of grace, a little bit of understanding in that they're trying to navigate a situation that they probably have never really dealt with before, especially if you are the first child in the household to go away to college, if you are the first student to go away to school. I know for a lot of instances, for me personally, I was the guinea pig for a lot of the college process, right? I was the first one in my family to actually go away to school. While my older sister was in school, she was at a community college, she was at home. So the process was a lot different. Whereas with me, my parents were experiencing things for the first time right along with me, right? So again, that kind of environment does tend to create a little bit of friction. And you also have to think, like, there's a lot going on in the world. You know, we're talking about school shootings, sexual assaults, you know, if you're a student of color, racism, discrimination, your parents know that, right? They live in the world just like you do. And it's probably really difficult for a lot of them to say, all right, I need to let go. I think having control gives them a sense of comfort. So having a little bit of understanding for your parents is extremely, extremely important. And as a student, financially, you have to be smart, right? And I'm not saying this, I know this is probably going to sound like, well, what are you saying? Like, just use your parents? Like, I'm not saying that. Obviously, you want to respect your parents, honor your parents, and again, have a little bit of understanding for, you know, where they're at mentally, what their perspective is. But financially, you need your parents. Okay, for the college process, unless you are, I believe, 24 or 25 years old, or unless you have parents who both of them are deceased, or if you can prove to the court or the U.S. Department of Education that you are an emancipated or independent student, you are going to need your parents to complete the free application for federal student aid. At this point, if you're a senior watching this, you should definitely know what the FAFSA is because it should be completed by now. If not, make sure that you go and watch some of my previous videos. But the free application for federal student aid is pretty much your gateway to receiving money for college, right? So unless you have $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 sitting around on your own, you are going to need the help of your parents, right? So many students go into their senior year with this like thought process of like, I'm grown, I'm gonna do what I wanna do, I'm getting ready to go to college, I don't care. And they shoot themselves in the foot because they make their parents so angry and their parents are so fed up with them that they won't even sign the FAFSA. They won't even give them any information to be able to complete the FAFSA. So that means that their dreams of being able to go to college are pretty much put on hold because their parents won't complete the FAFSA, right? So when you talk about being independent, when you talk about getting away from your parents, make sure that you are smart about what you do and say, because again, there are many, many students that I work with that find themselves in situations where, you know, this thought process of being independent and being on their own kind of implodes because of their behavior towards their parents and their parents' refusal to actually help them through the process, right? And parents are very, very pivotal, not just for the FAFSA process. You have to think somebody has to drive you to school. Someone has to send you money during that time. If, you know, let's say you get an apartment at some point during your college career, food is on you. And here's the thing, guys. I hear a lot of students say, you know, well, I'll just go and get a job, which is fine. Most college students will go and work, right? So you can have a little bit of wiggle room as far as, you know, whatever it is that you want to do. But please note that you still have to go to class. You probably still will want to do other things that most college students do, go to parties, participate in different organizations. That's a lot. And if you're not good at time management, it's probably going to be really, really hard for you. So again, make sure that you are really remembering to respect your parents, honor your parents, and understand their perspective and where they're coming from. Now, don't get me wrong. There are probably some parents out there who really are controlling, who really do have some issues that they need to work through, and they are projecting those issues on you as their child. I get it. I know that there are people out there that's like that, but I think it's important to understand where you are right now as a student and understand your needs, and definitely understand that you are not going to be able to get to where you want to go without some form of support from someone. And in a lot of cases, that support will come from parents. And not to say that people haven't branched off from their parents and done perfectly fine. There are many, many students who have done that. But you create you create just a more difficult process for yourself going through the college experience. Like, college without the extra is difficult on its own. But when you talk about being in a position where you're solely independent, you have nobody else to call, nobody else to go to if tuition is late, that's a lot to put on someone in their early 20s, late teens. So if you are truly in a position where you want to break away from your parents, where you feel like that's the best thing for you, maybe mentally or unfortunately, maybe even physically, then you've got to put yourself in a position where you plan things out, you know how things are going to work, and pretty much accept in your mind that this is not going to be an easy experience. It's not going to be fun all the time. It's going to require a whole lot of discipline, and for you to have a full understanding of the responsibility that's now going to be put on you. All right, so I don't want to make this video too long. I hope that was helpful for you all. Please know that I am completely open to questions. I would love to do a question and answer video at some point. So if you guys have any questions, anything that you would like for me to elaborate on, maybe do a part 2, please let me know. I would love to do it for you. Make sure that you leave a comment in the comment box below. And again, make sure that you subscribe, become a part of the graduating class, help me get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. All right, guys, that's all I have for you. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I will see you guys on the next one.